All right, good evening, guys. This is it's October 7th, 8:41 Eastern time after the markets have closed. So this is going to be more of analysis of the markets, continuation of the pattern that I been following up on. It's called the head and shoulders patterns. So basically, let's dive in here. So the markets have been extremely volatile. As you can see on my screen, I have the XPX, NDX, and the Russell all on the dailies. So we're looking at dailies. Time frame that we're looking at is dailies. Okay, we also have the VIX. The VIX is at 19.53, which is good. It's good, but it's not great. And I'm going to show you the VIX first. So the VIX all week, I'm going to make this wider. But the VIX all week, this is the hourly chart on VIX. The VIX have been trading between 25 and 2020. So obviously the VIX is a measurement of fear. The fear has been put into the marketplace. We were below 18 for a long time. So an increase of fear means that the market is going to be more volatile and is going to go down. So basically, we've noticed that the market's rallied today because the fear has been taken out of the market. It's the first time that in the last 7 trading sessions that the VIX has been traded below 20. So now, is it basing? Are we basing? And is it going to come back up and retest 20? Is fear going to come into the marketplace just for a day going into the weekend? So is it going to be risk on for the weekend? And I think possibly yes. So let's dive in here and let's look if the markets can give us any indication. So head and shoulders pattern. If you follow me, if you follow it, please follow the other videos. We've noticed that there was a lot of supply on this right neckline, or right shoulder going into the neckline. Not that much demand. There was some demand here at 43.03. That's a huge, huge number. We held that on the right shoulder. So we're going into the right shoulder. So here's the left shoulder, head, right shoulder. We've come down. There is a lot of supply here. We rallied off this 42.79. However, we're right at the 50-day moving average, right? So if I were to zoom in here, this was a dead cat bounce. We hit the 50 and then we sold off here. Now we didn't continue to sell off. I thought we were going to sell off I thought it wanted to go down to 41.52. I thought for sure there's a couple of days that we're going to head down there, and there is still a possibility that that could be the case. Now we did gap up today, but notice where we stopped. We stopped right below the 50-day moving average. So we could possibly sell off tomorrow, right? So we can fill in this gap right here around 43.66. That's pretty normal. We fill in that gap. And then if we're going to watch it, if we're going to continue lower, if there's risk on going into the weekend. And if we do, we're probably going to retest the lows of 42.77. Now, if this gets taken out, we're probably going to go down to this level here of 41.50. And again, we're going to measure this right here. We're going to measure the length of this. The length is a time frame, and then basing on the length, what are the points here? So we're looking at roughly about 267 points to the downside. So now 267 points. We're going to measure that from here and basically 267. So we can probably, I'm going to just take a wild guess where we're going to be. We're looking at roughly, let's say 4,000. So 4,000, that's what we're looking at. Okay. If it collapses. So now more likely, hopefully that's not the case. Now I am going to show you the neckline on the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq did break the head and shoulders pattern, but most importantly, we had a dead cat bounce here, right? So this dead cat bounce, we actually met the goal here. So I'm going to show you what I mean by that. So I showed you this before. Here is the length from the head to the shoulder, which is about 890, let's say 890, 890 points. Okay, so now if it's 890 points, let's measure that. And now we started from this shoulder and 890, it's right. Actually, we got more. So 973 points. 890 will put it right in here. So we met that objective on the Nasdaq. Now the Nasdaq has been beaten up pretty badly, but same type of thing here. We saw a lot of supply going in here, a lot of supply, a little bit of demand here, and then we're seeing supply coming back into the marketplace. So is it going to come back down? We're probably going to fill this gap down here, and then what's going to happen here? same as the XPX. Now, beautiful, the MACDs, that's telling me that this swing could be coming to an end or it could continue. If we bounce here, it could go lower and this can drop. So we're going to watch these levels. We're still in the same area here. So we can, now, if it breaks through, if we cross, then it's going to tell me that this swing is over. And then it's probably, what is it going to do? Is it going to consolidate here for a little bit? Consolidate, but we need some good news to enter into the marketplace. So what that good news is, I don't know. So one tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be the job report. Unfortunately, if job reports are low, that means that the economy is not as good as we think it is, and they're probably, possibly, they're going to not taper. Now, if they are good or average, then tapering is going to continue, and we'll probably will sell off a little bit more. So again, just keep in mind of news. This market is very very sensitive to news. Now, if if the Russell. Now we're in a critical moment on the Russell. The Russell it is, and by the way, this is the 200-day moving average. 200-day moving is right there. We've been flirting with the 200-day moving average. We're consolidating. We're winding up for something big here. So if we were to draw, just gonna say we've been the Bulls are coming in closer, and the Bears are coming in closer. Something big is about to happen. So keep an eye on the banks like Goldman Sachs or JP Morgan as a tail, because if the banks sell off, then the whole market is going to sell off. The XPX cannot sell off if the banks are up. Now, why am I saying watch the banks? Because the banks, if they taper, that means interest rates is going up. Interest rates is going up is good for the banks. So now, not good for tech, but good for the bank. So keep an eye on this. So the Russell, we're trading between these levels. There's a lot of demand here at 2187, 2154, but there's also a lot of supply at these levels here. So supply and demand is coming together and something big is going to happen. If you're unsure which way to go, look for the MACDs. If we break up and the 4-day, which is this little white thing here, breaks above the 50 and we start taking out these levels of supply, 2265 will be one, or these levels of demand, which 2188 is another one. So either way, and we get the MACD is going one way or the other, there is going to be money to be made either which way. You can either short the market. This would be the next level, 2155, and then we have 2121. Upside, 2266, and we have 2294, and then we have this high, 2310. All right, guys, this is it. Wanted to do a follow up, and this is for daily. And again, whatever stocks you're in, so look for the stocks that have been holding up pretty well. Okay, so I've been showing my momentum trades. That's the lunch hour trade. This is very different than what I'm showing you right now. This is more for long term, and you want to position yourself to, if we start selling off, your stock is going to go down with it. And if you have a nice profit, maybe it's time to lock in some gains and buy lower. If we go up, don't do anything. You're doing great. And maybe start loading up on some other stocks that are doing well, like Palantir and some other ones that are out there. I'll make a short video on covering them this weekend of the stocks that probably going to be good for a long position. But for now, we want to make sure that we cover what the overall market is going to do. Either way, we're at a critical moment. It looks like we're probably going to sell off tomorrow. That's why we got into puts. Now, if by chance, because these are levels of supply, we could take it out, but we are going to need some positive news. Maybe the job report is going to be positive. Keep track of this China thing going down. I know they're going to do a virtual meeting, but how good is a virtual meeting? And do you have confidence in Biden to, uh, I mean, it's a fact. China has been flying planes over Taiwan. The other thing I've been noticing, NOC has been going up, Northrop Grumman, which is a defense company stock. Look at the defense companies. If they start going up, maybe that might be a tail. All right, guys, go get it and share this with anybody you want. And tomorrow, I'll be uh, trading those momentum stocks Market Pulse. All right, guys, go get it, and we'll talk soon.